Hello out there. This is Freestyle Scary, episode 2. I have a secret drug problem. Cocaine. I'm a cocaine addict. And often when I come out here to write, to work on the podcast in the evenings, say around 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'll put on Frederick Chopin, chopping, and I'll get to work. Stephen King uses AC/DC because he's a old corny fool. I use Chopin because I fancy myself some kind of artist, I suppose. Mainly I use it, I think, because it doesn't distract me too much, and it serves in the same way that King uses AC/DC to envelop myself in more of a cocoon even than the garage or the studio can, to get me away from everything and put me in a world and a space where I can write. I have my little lamp on, I have my pack of cigarettes, I have my stack of beers, and I attempt to get to work. Some nights it's good, but on occasion I find I just can't do it. I need a break. So I text my buddy and I say, hey, let's get some blow. Call the guy. I'll pay for it. Meet me up back. I turn the music up a bit. My family knows not to disturb me when they hear that music. I text my girl and I tell her, hey, can you put the kids to bed? I won't be in tonight until later. I'm going to write late tonight. She says, okay. Turn the music up, close the door, leave the light on, sneak out the back way. I have a field out back, creep across that, walk past my kids' treehouse. Previously, I'll have made sure that the light's off so that the automatic light doesn't come on, and alert them to the fact that I'm moving around out there. He'll be waiting for me in a truck across the field, idling. Hop in. We drive out into the middle of nowhere. A grouping of farmers' fields way out in the middle of nowhere. Our guy is a son of a farmer who sells all kinds of things. Xanax bars, ecstasy, acid, marijuana, cocaine. I have $500 that I've taken from the bank off my credit card directly so that there's no paper trail so that my girl can't see what I'm doing. Normally there's 3 of us, but on this night there's just the 2 of us. I have $500, give it to the guy. He gives us 2 8-balls and a gram, 220 an 8-ball. Gives us a deal on the gram. It's usually 80, but he gives it for 60. Tells us it's really good stuff. Wants to know what we think of it. We get the bag, multiple bags. We take one of them, the one with the gram in it, crush it up as best as we can. He's driving, I'm doing this, I'm crushing it up. We get out our straw. We take a snort right out of the bag each. And we're flying down the road, back to his place, out in the middle of nowhere. Moon shining down on us. Danger, it seems, everywhere, but there's nothing there at all. Just this omnipresent feeling of doom when you're doing this stuff, until you get a couple of those lines and you're all right. Steppenwolf or something from the 70s blaring on the radio. We get back to his little spot. We begin doing blow, listen to more music. We start to cook up some crack. Get the baking soda, get the water. We're experts. We take about a quarter of it and turn that into crack. Doing lines, smoking crack, smoking cigarettes, drinking beers, listening to my podcast. You get very egotistical. We're looking at photos of stuff that he's built recently. He's a carpenter. Stroking each other's egos for hours. Hours go past and it seems like minutes. Before we know it, it's 3 a.m. and it's almost all gone and we are flying on fire. This stuff is good. This stuff's incredible. This shit's fucking dangerous. I need to buy a bunch of this and water it down a little bit. Not water it down, powder it down a bit and sell it and make our money back. I text my fiance, tell her to kiss the kids for me. This is around 2:30 a.m. and I do this and I tell her, can you please put out some clothes for me? I'm gonna reek like cigarette smoke. She agrees. I tell her I love her. She tells me the same. And by about 4 a.m., it's time to go. We've scraped the pipe. We've stopped talking to one another. It's getting depressing. And I leave. Big hug. Peace. Creep my way back home. The birds are beginning to chirp. The worst feeling in the world for a drug fiend. You're supposed to be getting up soon and you're just getting home to go to bed and the birds are out and you're about to go down. I creep back in through the back. I come into the garage. I turn off my music, turn off my phony situation. Come into the house, take a shower, blow my nose into my hands, little Coke rocks, little snotty Coke rocks all in my hands. I'm eating them because I'm a fucking fiend. I come into the living room. I decide not to go to bed. I lay down on the couch. She set up a pillow for me and a blanket. She knows I like to sleep on the couch on nights like this. I don't want to disturb them. I eat the Xanax bar I got in my pocket that I bought just in case. This shit is fucking wild. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep. But by 5:30, I conk out, heart beating like crazy. I'm surprised I can go, but I go. Around 7 o'clock, the kids get up. Fiance gets up. I get up, groggy. And they're not looking at me. They won't talk to me. They won't speak to me. My girl looks right through me. Everybody's crying. Everybody's at his sorts. I don't understand what's going on. I'm in a fucking fog and a daze. I got the Xanax in me. I got this Coke residue in my brain and my system still. I'm kind of stumbling around. There's ghosts flying through the house, it seems. There's like my mom's there. My mother-in-law's there. There's these people there. There's men in... It's like, what the fuck is going on? I go into the bedroom. I go and I lay down. Try to sleep it off. But I can't sleep. A couple of hours pass. I come back out. Nobody's there. Later on that evening, they all come home. Their eyes are bloodshot. My girls are puffy. The kids look absolutely exhausted. And they all go off to bed without speaking to me. She looks at me, right through me, and says, "Jack, how could you do this to us?" I say, "I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about." But I know. I know she knows. I know they know. I know the gig's up. They head off to bed. I lay on the couch, guilt-ridden. Try to go to sleep. But I can't. I can't sleep. I stay up all night. Everything goes by in a blur, it seems. And before I know it, they're up again. My kids come out. They won't look at me. My fiance comes out. She looks at me, right through me again, and says, "Jack, how could you do this to us?" The kids are playing in their little teepee in the back room with their toys quietly, just amongst each other. I come in, I try to make them laugh, try to joke around with them as I normally do. They won't react to me, nothing. Come out, try to talk to her. She's getting them breakfast and everything. She won't speak to me, back to me. She gets them ready, dresses them all up. They head out to the van. My 9-year-old gets into the front seat. That's where I would normally sit or I would drive. She puts our 2-year-old in the back, locks him in. Try to help. She won't let me help. I get into the back of the van, sit with my 2-year-old, and she reverses and goes to drive, and he's looking out the window, just numb seeming. I turn and I go to talk to my 9-year-old and try to make him laugh. Nothing. He's crying, looking out the window. They're so upset with me. My girl, "Jack, how can you do this to us?" "I'm sorry. Can we talk about this? Like, where the fuck are we going? What's going on?" We pull up to this brick building. and I recognize it. Mainly, I recognize the bar beside it, the Legion. I drink there often on the patio in the summer times. I hear a phone ring. Like, oh, that's the death phone. This is the place, we call it the death phone. It's the funeral home beside there. When that phone goes off, you know that someone's died and they're calling it in. We call it the death phone. We joke about it. We head into the building. My kids are told to sit on these pews, they look like. They sit down together, their little bodies huddled, hugging almost. And you hug me. I'm your fucking dad. I mean, shit, what's going on? She goes into this back room with this man. I follow him in, though I'm not welcome. And in there I see the casket. It's open. She's nodding. She's okaying something. She's crying. She's blowing her nose. Chopin's playing on the speakers. I look in and it's me. I'm dead. I OD'd. I'm dressed in my nicest outfit. She says that will do. And she turns and she looks through me again and says, Jack, how could you do this to us? And now forever I can't sleep. Eyes cocked towards lock, stay paranoid.